Hey folks, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO, and also known as the Compassionate Patriot. I love those two titles that folks have thrown on me. And the reason I do is because for sure I live at the beach. I get to facilitate the growth of several companies, work with a lot of different clients and pubcos. And then my patriotism, I just love this country. It's not about politics. It's not about religion. It's not about a partisanship. It's about the people in this country. Patriotism is about your fellow countrymen. It's about building something up. And sometimes that gets diluted and misunderstood, especially during the hot political rhetoric that we see, but also during some of the social uproar at times that people see. Some people will say it's all fake news. I don't believe in fake news. I believe that people do take the facts, and sometimes based on either their own agenda, based on their own understanding of those specific facts as they see them, the truth will be diluted, the truth will be spun. But I believe if we, the people, dig deep enough, you always find the truth, whether that's historical, whether it's present, or whether it's going to be in the future. It doesn't matter what the topic is. You use first principles, you will dig deep enough to literally get the truth, not the relativism, none of that, but the truth. And coming into 2022, that's going to be what we do. You know, some of you guys know that the word that I had for 2021 was redefined. I had sought out counsel. I'd sought out prayer to say, what is it that I need to look forward to? And literally, my whole life has been redefined, personally, in business, spiritually. It's been phenomenal to see month after month after month how little things came together to where as we launch into 2022, there are some magnificent shifts that we did, that we just saw happen. Some cases we planned them, some cases they just shot out. A lot of great things happened in 2021. We saw a lot of mergers and acquisitions across the board in different spaces. We saw the start of the maturity of what we know as the CBD industry. Companies are merging, companies are getting kicked out. People are understanding that this isn't about recreational feeling good, that the cannabinoids from the hemp plant can help your pets. They can help emotional issues. They can help some physical issues. And the science now that has come forth has shifted that industry, and it's getting rid of the garbage, getting rid of the yahoos that are out there. And I love that. We saw a major shift in the what will we call it? The digital currency age. We saw giant financial institutions have to admit, hey, this is here to stay. Now what do we do? How do we take care of our high net worth clients when we can't control it? We saw governments start to realize we can't control this. Now, there's been some conspiracies out there that says, oh my gosh, this is going to create a one world order. Actually not. That's why it's deregulated. That's why it's decentralized. Now, will it become more regulated in each country? Absolutely. We are going to see some regulations come into play. I think that is a good thing. I am not anti-regulation. I'm anti-stupid regulation. So as long as the political idiots, I guess, sometimes I just gotta call a spade, if they will totally focus on the politicians who are part of the crypto industry, who understand the crypto industry, then we're going to see a big onslaught and a stability come across where the platforms in which some of the tokens are there, that's going to be a big deal. And, you know, I'm going to use just layman's kind of a layman's viewpoint of cryptocurrency, if you will, so that the majority of people will be maybe to be able to understand it. If you take each blockchain out there, whether it's the Bitcoin blockchain, the Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, it doesn't matter. There's like 6,000. Okay. If you look at those and you study them, then you find out that each blockchain is kind of like its own company, if you will. They have projects that are on them. They've got a focused white paper. So when you're buying the coin, it's kind of like buying a stock in a public company. You're hoping it goes up, but it could go down. Here's where it gets a little tricky. You've heard of the Doge coins and some of these other meme coins as they're known. Well, those are kind of like pump and dumps. They're kind of like not pyramids, Ponzi schemes, okay? They're trying to give you the story, but there's no solidity to the bottom of it out there. So you want to be able to go out before you just jump into crypto, before somebody, oh, go get the coins, go get tokens, go get an NFT, before you do any of that. Study. Matter of fact, you can send me a message if you want to. I'll be more than happy to send you a phenomenal link. It's about investing 101 in crypto. No affiliate link. I'm not selling you anything. It's education because that's what's needed. My son's 18 years old, decided to get into crypto this year and had a really good ride with one coin, and then he questioned about another coin. It depends on where you're at, what you're doing, your long-term view. We are investors. We are not traders. We are not licensed investment advisors. We just provide news and throw you to educational sites where you can gain some wisdom in what you're trying to do. So that was that. We watched the network marketing, direct sales, MLM industry this year go through what I would call a spin, and it's still spinning to a certain degree. We saw some SPACs come out and start putting together public shells to go out and buy some databases, buy companies that they thought they could put all under one umbrella. Now, this has happened in the past. I've invested in some of those. And if the management of these companies have a secret agenda or a private agenda, if all they want to do is use it as a fuel for their own personal gain, it will not work. But there are some really good ones out there right now. They've got some really good advisory boards, board of directors, and officers that are leading the pack. We saw some other companies, private companies, come together and merge. We saw an upstart of some companies. And then we saw some companies get called out by the critics and the regulators, and they decided not to fight it. They went by the wayside. I'm telling you, if you're in the direct sales space, then you need to understand that this is a new dawn, okay? And we'll do a history video, and I'll put it up on the news site showing the steps that direct sales have gone through from the old wagon days where the peddler would come into town and sell their wares to the what we called the snake oil salesman, to the door-to-door, to the party plan, to what we now today call the MLM industry. And you'll see a shift. And we are going through one of those new dawning of ages, in my opinion. From studying the stats, looking at history, I believe we're at a new age, and I believe it's good. Franchising went through this about 25, 30 years ago. We're a little slower to the game, but we're starting to go through it. Another interesting situation people have started to look at is the Forex market. It's a convoluted mess. I've had former clients who have been direct sales companies who have been in the space. I have come to the conclusion that it's a tricky situation. And if you're going to start a Forex education company, then you need to make sure that you have the right programmers, the right apps. You need to make sure as a company that you are actually trading in the Forex currency market, or regulators can come after you, basically showing that everything you said was nothing more than a fantasy. Because if you don't have legitimate stats to show, then it can be tricky. Some companies are leaving. They're people that have got egos. They're people that have opinions. They jump and they go out here and they do this crazy stuff. One such company, a company called Rise, they're an illegal pyramid scheme. Yes, I just said that. They're an illegal pyramid scheme. Not only that, they're criminally borderline on some fraudulent stuff. Donna Marie Saratella, we know her as the queen of compliance. They have her listed on their website as their compliance officer. That is bold-faced lie. If they'll lie about that, they'll lie about other things. When I went and studied their site, and we're going to do a full review on them if they don't get their act together, but they make claims. They're going crazy. Several companies are that way. And you cannot do that. You need to have a good team at the headquarters that know what they're doing, good compliance in place. You need to have these educators, they also call them traders. They need to just call them educators. If they call them traders, then the company better be able to prove that they actually have a legitimate trading account and they're trading currencies. I know I've had some calls saying, Troy, is it really true that these people are making millions of dollars a month? We really don't know that, okay? And if they are, I would assume, it's an assumption. Well, it's not an assumption. I could give you some stats, but under an NDA from a former client, I can't do that. So I'm going to give you an assumption here. I'm going to assume the majority of their money is literally coming from their investments, understanding the algorithms, watching what they're doing, knowing what they're trading. Okay, the majority of the money is not coming from building the network. And that's why you see individuals jump into these companies and then they run and they say, I'm going to start my own company, and then they fail because they're trying to build it off the network. You cannot build a pyramid scheme in Forex, crypto, or any other investment or commodity. You have to make sure that the underlying product, your education, your mining, if you're into mining, whatever it is, you have to make sure that's legit and that there's profits being driven from that in the individual accounts. Number one, it gives you lots of customers. Number two, even if the network went away, the individual is actually earning money. That's what you've got to look at. Some other concerns that we have, the FTC came after the whole industry. Kevin Thompson and his associate Clay have talked about this. They are now looking at not shutting down a company because you're a pyramid or any of that. They're going to hit you for every income claim, every healthcare claim. It can be up to $43,000 plus per incident if they win in court. It's not worth it, guys. Police yourselves. Use some accountability. People are not stupid in the 21st century. If you're still one of these, I don't know, dull, negative, disillusioned people that believe that it's all about FOMO, it's all about spinning it, it's all about get rich quick, man, you're living in the wrong century, okay? It is not that. People today, and we saw a shift. I maybe we'll do a whole video on this. I don't want to keep you more than 15 minutes if I can. We have moved to an empathy marketing. It's no longer making people feel bad. It's about making people feel good. But it's not about spinning it in a way that the end result causes more damage to them. When you hurt somebody emotionally, and all of a sudden, not only did you not take care of the physical need that you promised, but you didn't take care of the emotional need that you probably didn't even know was there, then here's what happens. Your company becomes the target of Truth in Advertising, the target of the FTC, the target of half a dozen other giant advocate critics that are out there behind MLM, and Reddit. If you don't know about Reddit and YouTube, they've got two of the largest organizational groups of people, just a community of people that believe everything that has to do with MLM, network marketing, is of the devil. It is part of 666. It is the demise of Middle America. And even Middle America is starting to think this, and that's why we see so much. So you got to straighten your acts up, okay? And it starts not in the field. It starts with you CEOs and you founders who need to get your head out of your butt, and you need to stop thinking, man, if I can just go a little bit more, if I can just make a little bit more money, if I can just turn a blind eye. They're coming after you. The new rule they've come out, they don't go after the reps. In the old days, they'd hit the reps too. Right now, they're going to go deep into you, because if they can cut the head off of the snake, then they cut it out. That's what they've got to look at. And they think the whole industry is this way, because just like in everything, the majority never speaks up. It's only the minority. So it's time the majority speak up and say, we are done with this crap. So that's some of the good stuff. As we go into 2022, we are relaunching businessnewsdesk.com. It's not the old MLM help desk. We will link over and bring some stuff over to that. But this is a broad Main Street entrepreneurial website. It's going to have education. It's going to have information in all kinds of different niches that people work from home. Here's one most of you guys don't know about. I've got good friends in the pharmaceutical industry that are 1099 contractors that work in that industry. They work from home. I've got a beautiful single mom's raising 2 kids, and she is a pharmaceutical rep that goes around and educates doctors on what is good and what isn't, and how to work with their patients. There are so many niches out there that you've probably never heard about. We're going to be pumping those up. We're going to be talking about them. We're going to be talking about companies. We're going to be digging into what it takes for you to win. I've been blessed over the last, I'm 58 next month. So let's say that out of 58, we take away, I joined the Marine Corps at 17. So let's say the last 40 years, I have been an entrepreneur. I have worked more for myself or have been part of partnerships of businesses. And I know this business. We live at the beach. My wife is an entrepreneur. She's a best-selling romance writer, 4 bestsellers, I think 30 books now. We know a little bit about working from home, not in the traditional sense. I have friends that own construction companies. They own gyms. We're going to go across the board talking about home-based entrepreneurs. We're going to talk about residual income versus passive income versus just going out there and having to bang it out every day. We're going to talk about a lot that has to do with you going into 2022 and beyond, because we have shifted. 50% of the American workforce right now is literally freelance. They're working from home. They're on 1099. Amazon in late 20 got rid of a lot of employees, brought them back as independent contractors delivering stuff. So we see that where it's going, and we want to be there to help you out, letting you know, where do you get benefits? Where do you get health insurance? Where do you make sure that now that you're on your own, that you still can leave a legacy and have financial freedom, and where should you invest and how should you invest, and should those investments have compensation plans attached to them, or should you put them into what type of an account? We're going to cover this, bring on some experts that are licensed in that, and give you the right direction. Guys, have a great end of the year, and I look forward to seeing you in 2022.